The STEM Society.
What's poppin', people? My name is Cole Jackson. This is the STEM Society. Welcome back. I got two things on the docket this week, man. We are going to be talking about Drake finally breaking the Michael Jackson record. But is he the better artist than Michael Jackson? There's a lot of conversation on the internet about that. We'll talk about that later on. Right now, I wanted to get into this DJ Hed clip that's been floating around the internet here recently. DJ Hed and Gina Views were having this conversation about Iceman. And it seemed like they were going back and forth about the songs, about who Drake is, so on and so forth, right? DJ Hed made a statement about Too Hard for the Radio, understanding that was a diss, and he made a statement. He made a statement about editing the song. Listen to what he said he did and why.
The Too Hard for the Radio is controversial because on one side, I've gotten that he's intentionally trying to drive a wedge between LA and the Bay. I don't buy that. I don't subscribe to that. The Bay and LA, we fuck with each other. I'm not participating in that, though. And that narrative of the LA shouldn't support that song because it's him. It's like, no, nigga, if the niggas want to hear the records, play the records. I don't like it. Whatever, cool. But for the people for the DJs, I'll say this, for the DJs who feel conflicted, if you go to djhed.com, I have an edit of Too Hard for the Radio that you can play without disses in it. It's just a DJ Hed edit that you can play free of charge. You can download it. Go to DJ.
What did you remove?
Well, he said something about mustard. He said something about I forgot. It was like a couple things he said. I don't remember the bars, but I just remember it was like some little slick shit that he said. So those things have been removed, and you could play the DJ Hed version free and clear with guilt free.
It's a little contradiction.
Why?
The people who wouldn't play it.
Oh, because it's taking because.
Yeah, because when did we ever give a fuck about niggas taking shots at each other and them? Because we'll play some shit from some niggas from LA taking shots at niggas from LA.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, yeah. I get what you're saying, 100%. But I made the edit, so it's there for you to have at it.
For somebody who doesn't feel the need to be pressed about anything, making that edit seems like you're kind of pressed, bro. A couple things that I got from this. One, you are really looking more like a stan than anything else by making this edit. There's no call for that. This is hip hop, remember? This is how people throw shots. People been throwing shots at each other like that for a very long time. So if he's throwing shots at mustard, then you got to let it fly. The DJs in LA, they can choose whether they want to play it or not. That's not your decision. Like, you can't do that. You sit up here playing God with somebody's art when that's not your stuff to do that with. On top of that, if the DJs in LA want to play it, they got to play it as is. But I would think that the DJs in LA would be smarter than that not to play it because it's dissing one of the biggest and best producers from LA. So that explanation had me very confused about why you would want to edit that. On top of that, you said you were doing this for free, right? You said like, hey man, I'm not trying to, make no money off of this. So what was the point? Who are you protecting? This is really on some stan culture shit. Like I said, you coming off like West Coast academics right now. And that's terrible. You do not want to be West Coast academics. That is someone you don't want to be. What was the purpose? So listening to all that, thinking about everything that was being said, I said, well, why don't I just listen to the edit and see how bad it is? So what did I do? Went to djhed.com to see if I can download the actual edit that he made. But when I got to the website, it was gone. Yeah. So there's no edit there. I checked to see if there was another website, another djhed.com. That was the only one I went to. It was his logo. The song's not even there for download anymore. So either one, you got cold feet and said, let me just take this away because this sounds stupid. Or two, it was never a real thing to begin with. Now, he did have a tweet after the video went viral, and this is what he said. I see my sense of humor still needs some improvement. Apologies. I'll be better. Love. if you watch the same clip I watched, it didn't come off as a joke for me. And if you can read facial expressions and people's body movement, it felt like he was very embarrassed by what he did. Now, that whole energy he had on Effective Immediately is completely different than what he had on the TFU podcast. Listen to what he said on that podcast about Drake and the battle.
People think I care about this shit. Like, I never met the man. I don't have anything personal against. If he walked in right now, I'd be like, "What up, nigga?" and go on about my day. I don't have any ill will towards Drake. Like, my thing is, I know the things that he does behind the scenes. That's lame. I know the things that he says and he's done, quote unquote, behind the scenes. That's lame. I know the people around him who do and say things and how they move. They are lame. However, it's not personal for me. Yes, it's personal when it comes. If you ask me, but that goes for anybody. That goes for me and you. Me and you, we cool. But if Dot is like, fuck him, I'm over here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how
you got to pick a side.
That's how it's like, it's not like it's deep. I'm a fan. I like me. I played this music 2 days ago when I was DJing for Netflix. I played this shit on Netflix.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care like that. Right. I don't give a fuck. And as a DJ, an active DJ, not playing one on TV, I play what the people want to hear.
Do you see how different he talking on the TFU pod than he was on Effective Immediately? I don't know about y'all, but that whole edit the song thing is really coming off like some West Coast academics type stuff. And I hate to say it because, again, I respect you, DJ Hed. I think you're a decent person. But what you did was uncalled for. You can't do that. Let's have an adult conversation. Let's sit down and be adults real quick. Let's not act like Kendrick Lamar dropped a song called Not Like Us. And I know it's talking about Drake not being a part of the culture, but it's also a song that's calling the man a right? And that shit slide. Nobody made an edit. Nobody tried to stop that song. Nobody stepped on the song. It was played all over the freaking world. Trust me, I was in London. They were playing it in London. It was played everywhere. Nobody made an edit. Nobody tried to stop it. What you did was compromise what Drake was doing, which was taking shots. You can't do shit like that, especially if you respect hip hop as much as you say you do. That's some foul shit. I'm just saying, if you're gonna be a stand like academics is a stand for Drake, then you need to go ahead and say that shit and stand on it. Stop trying to make this shit look a certain way because you look crazy out here doing DJ edits of a diss track. I can't believe I'm saying this shit. Somebody edited a diss track so it could be played. Where the fuck are we right now? What are we doing? This feels crazy to me. This brings me back around to what I've been saying for the longest time. These media personalities and their hidden biases of who they like and who they don't like. They will say one thing on one podcast, and then when they get on their show, they say something completely different. In this case, he did something completely different. And that shit don't ride, bro. That shit is you're not valid when you do shit like that. And somebody was smart enough to get the DJ Hed to say, you need to take that shit off your website. Because I'm pretty sure he wasn't going to take it down on his own. Who knows? He's a grown man. He probably did. But at the end of the day, bro, you have to kind of sit back and, if I was him, I would apologize. I'm not going to hold it. You owe Drake an apology for fucking with his music, bro. You owe him an apology. That's low-key fucking with that man's money. For real, for real. That's fucking with that man's money when you're editing a song for your pleasure and for everybody else's pleasure who may or may not like the song because of a diss. I'm sorry, man. If anybody is condoning this shit, you lame, just like he was lame on that shit. For real. Nobody should be messing with anybody's art when it comes to shooting back and forth. That's like a nigga saying, don't hit me back when you get hit. I wrap it up by saying this. When these media personalities start taking it upon themselves to actually edit music so it can be playable or it can be digestible for people so it'll be okay for it to play, that's a dangerous game, bro. Because now you're setting things up for anybody to do that. If Kendrick decides to shoot back, what's going to stop them from making a Canada-friendly version of whatever diss track he goes back at Drake with? You just set the precedent, my nigga. Like, you just set the tone for a lot of different shit when you really didn't have to. And honestly, if I was unaffected immediately, I would have never said that shit. At the end of the day, man, keep your shit to yourself. Stop editing people's music so it can be played. If you did that to Drake's song, how many other songs have you edited? How many other times have you taken somebody's disses and made them into a LA-friendly song? That shit is suspect, my nigga. That shit is suspect. What do you guys think? Did DJ Hed have every right to edit a song that is aimed at somebody in LA? Did he have the right to edit it? Did he have the right to be okay with that? Is he pushing a narrative? What are your thoughts? I really want to know in the comments. Let me know. So let's move into Drake being the guy. Drake just broke Michael Jackson's record for the most solo hits. He has 14, and it's a big celebration. Drake actually posted something on his Instagram, giving a bit of a, speech, pounding on his chest. Listen to what he said. Neck broke from carrying the chain. Back broke from carrying the game. Record broke carrying on my name. Carry on, carry on. So the song that put Drake over the top was Janice STFU, which is, I guess you could call it the lead single now. I don't know. It's so many songs. But I've heard the song. I like Janice STFU. It's not the best song on Iceman, but it's what put him over the top. He has 14 number ones now. So after all of the celebration is going on and people talking about Drake being the guy, the conversation shifted to Drake being better than Michael Jackson. That's right. There are real conversations on the internet right now trying to make the argument that Drake is the better artist than Michael Jackson is. Here's some of the things that people are using for evidence. Let's start with Exhibit A. How many songs he has on Billboard right now? Currently, 9 of the top 10 songs on this week's Billboard Hot 100 are from Iceman. It's Janice STFU, Ran to Atlanta, Whisper My Name, She Bang, National Treasure, Make Them Cry, Dust, Too Hard for the Radio. People are saying because he's filling the whole Billboard charts with all of his songs off of one album, we should start putting this guy up there on Mike's level. You guys are idiots. You're stupid. The other example that people are using is this clip from the Joe Budden podcast where Joe sits down with Gamma owner Larry Jackson. Listen to what Larry Jackson said about Drake's catalog.
My wild theory was that Drake had to have some type of hand in Gamma, which is why he's promoting Ross albums and Sexy Red. And he must have some type of deal that's not even available to other people, to whereas he gets to be the owner and player, or player and whatever that other title is.
Streaming is that it's provided predictable insight into recurring revenue. So like I was saying earlier, it's very easy to predict what something can do, what it can generate, because there's now all of this historical data now going back to the early 2010s around what things have streamed, and you could it's very easy to figure out and calculate and quantify. There's a myth out there that catalog is bigger than it's ever become, and I think it's actually an intentionally skewed perspective that's been seeded, because anything that's considered catalog is music that is older than 18 months. So the thing that I'll say to you about the artist you just mentioned is that if you look at his music, he's bigger than the 70s, 80s, and 90s combined. I don't mean like one artist from that era, I mean all of those eras combined.
That was the CEO of Gamma, Larry Jackson. If you don't know who Larry Jackson is, please Google that man. He knows more about music than anybody in the industry, I guarantee you. But he had a valid point, right? Like, Drake's music is super valuable. Drake has immense this catalog that people coveted. You know, UMG's got hold to it, especially the early stuff. People are looking at Drake's catalog as the holy grail. What we tend to forget is Mike's catalog, it ain't trash. Back in 2024, Sony wanted to buy a stake in Michael Jackson's catalog, which cost them $700 million. But do you know what Michael Jackson's catalog is valued at? At that time, it was valued at $1.2 $1.5 billion. Now, I don't know if Drake's catalog is on that level because we've been talking about bees on the table here recently and Drake getting a $2 billion deal from an investment firm. But for Sony to even get a stake in Mike's catalog, they got 50%. 50%, they paid $700 million for that. But $1.5 billion ain't nothing to shake your head at. That's publishing, that's licensing, all of the stuff that comes with it. $1.5 billion. I hate to say this, but I don't think Drake's early catalog is worth $1.5 billion. I don't think his whole catalog in whole is worth $1.5 billion. And I'll tell you why. The early stuff is way too good and the later stuff is way too bad. We literally hear the fall off by the time we get to Scorpion. We literally hear the fall off of what he was to what he is now. As much as I love Drake as an artist, he ain't got no Thriller in his fucking catalog, brother. He ain't even got a fucking Invincible in his catalog, brother. I'm just letting you guys know right now, the conversation is asinine because Drake ain't got the cultural currency that Mike does. Hell, he doesn't have the musicality that Mike does. Mike sold out world tours. Go watch a documentary. Go read a book about Michael Jackson to see what this nigga has been on. Everybody saying that Drake is on another level than Michael Jackson don't know their history. Drake is a moment. Michael Jackson is a phenomenon. Mike has always been a phenomenon for a very long time. And for people to have this argument about who's better just because of some solo number ones, let me just say this, because maybe y'all might not look at it the same way. When music changed from physical copies to streaming, it made it a whole lot easier for a lot of you niggas out here. It really did. Mike was selling fucking vinyls when vinyls were new. Are you understanding what I'm saying right now? Mike was selling physical copies back in the day, bro. Still selling. I think he's selling 3 million albums a year now still. I don't know how much longevity Drake has for the rest of his life when it comes to his catalog, for him making music, because he's going to have to make a whole lot more music for him to be able to even come close to what Michael Jackson has done. I have been watching this guy with the Michael Jackson glove and the whole Michael Jackson everything when it comes to him breaking the record. And it's low-key disrespectful to me. I'm just going to keep it a stack with y'all. I don't like that. And the reason being is because you should be making your own name and celebrating in your own way. There's no need for you to be holding up the Michael Jackson glove, or there's no need for you to be having all of these pictures. Even the whole Michael Jackson with the braids thing was low-key kind of disrespectful to me, bro. And that's why people don't necessarily accept Drake in the culture like that. Like, you do some really fucked up shit when it comes to your celebrations. Mike would be so happy for you if he was still here. You get what I'm saying? Like, Mike probably would even dap him up. But the way you find yourself celebrating this accomplishment makes you feel like an outsider yet again. I hate having these conversations. It all goes back to buying Tupac's ring or having Pharrell's jewelry. Like, it really does feel like you just collecting these items because you want to make fun of the culture and do what you feel like is a celebration, or you upholding what the culture is, when at the end of the day, you're really just mimicking what you think is cool and talking shit about us. Period, point blank. And this is coming from a Drake fan, but I'm not stupid. Everything that you do mocks hip hop. It really does, bro. That whole thing with telling people to come get Pharrell's legacy out of your house, that was low, nigga. That's not somebody who respects hip hop, bro. That's just not somebody who respects the game. And while other people are stroking your ego, you should be really thinking about like how you really shitting on Mike with the shit that you're doing. And I'm just speaking freely right now. I had a whole other piece about proving that Mike is better, but I felt like I had to speak from the heart because we love Mike. Mike is that guy. He has always been that guy. And he will forever be that guy when Drake is gone. We gonna still be passing Thriller down from household to household, from generation to generation. I can't say the same about Take Care. I can't say the same about Iceman. I can't say the same about Scorpion. We're not going to be passing those albums down. We're going to be saying, man, I remember back in 2026 when Iceman dropped and this shit was kind of trash, but everybody celebrated it. That's what we going to do. We're not going to sit up here and be like, man, when Nothing Was the Same dropped, it was a different time, man. Like, that changed the world. That moved hip-hop into a different stratosphere. We're not going to be saying that. When Thriller dropped, nigga, people fucking, the earth moved. I'm telling you what I was told. When Thriller dropped, nigga, this fucking mountain shook. Because it was something that we had never seen before. See, that's the thing that people tend to forget, too. We're gonna see another Drake. It might take a little bit because these companies using AI now, and they don't want to fucking really put anything in the artist anymore. But we're gonna see another Drake. Will we see somebody break Drake's record? I don't know, because Drake is gonna be rapping till he's 50 years old. I'm telling you what I know now. But you're not a phenomenon. You are a moment, and that's okay. I'm happy that he broke the record. I'm happy that he's getting a lot of celebration from this. I just don't like how he's doing it. Sorry. That shit just don't fly well with me, man. I love music. And people who love music can see the disrespect that comes from the type of shit he's doing to celebrate this win. What do you guys think? Maybe I'm too serious about it. What do you guys think? Do you think Drake is the better artist over Michael Jackson? Do you think the way he's celebrating is respectful? I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. Before I go, I have a Cole's Corner. Didn't think I was going to have a midweek Cole's Corner, but here it goes. This week, Lil Wayne had an announcement on a sports talk show.
We got the Carter 6 last year. Is the Carter 7 coming soon? And if so, is that the case? And maybe you give us maybe a sneak peek if there's any features on the album.
The Carter 7 is coming soon. I'm not sure if we're gonna just name my next album the Carter 7, but I got albums coming as well. But I don't know if they're gonna just name it Carter 7 or they're gonna wait for another album and name it that. But I got music for days, and what they do is they just come in here and they just grab a bunch of songs and they just put a title on it, like, yo, this Carter 7, so Carter 7 coming soon.
So you're just to the people in the society. First and foremost, thank you for being a part of this wonderful podcast and the show and all this stuff on YouTube. Thank you. But I'm going to beg you, I'm going to plead with you. Let's stop Lil Wayne from dropping this Carter 7. I know, it's Wayne, it's Wheezy F Baby. I know what you're saying. Let's stop this. Lil Wayne's legacy is at a point where it's going to fall off of a cliff pretty soon if this album drops. Now, if the Carter 6 told you guys anything about Wayne, it says he can't do albums anymore. I don't want to be loud because being loud means I'm angry. And I'm not mad at this because I understand this Lil Wayne and I understand the legacy that he has right now. But if we're being honest with each other, if me and you are cool with each other, this cannot happen because he's going to destroy what little respect he still has in hip hop. And I'm asking you as a friend, as a person who is part of this hip hop society, just like you guys are, to stop this. Let's find a way to stop Lil Wayne from dropping the Carter 7 because he's going to destroy his career if it comes out. Sorry. I still love Lil Wayne. I still have a lot of his mixtapes. I still love the fact that he wants to make music. Hell, I love the features he gets on. But at the end of the day, folks, if the Carter 7 drops, his legacy is going to hell. I'm telling you what I know because I heard Carter 6. Now, a lot of y'all fought me on that album when did it come out? 2023? Whenever it came out, a lot of y'all fought me. A lot of y'all got in the comments to tell me I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. And I revisited that album, and it's even worse than the first time I heard it. It is horrible. I don't know what y'all heard. I don't know what you guys think about this album, but it is terrible. I went back to listen to it to make sure I wasn't tripping. I'm not, because it's bad. And if we get Carter 7, it's going to be even worse. Let's stop Lil Wayne from destroying what legacy he has left, and let's find a way to give him something else to do. That's my plea to all of you people in the society. That's my cry to Lil Wayne. Please don't drop this album, because all you're going to do is hurt anything that you've ever built. Just do features, my nigga. Just do features. Well, that's all I got for y'all this week, man. Thank you for joining me for another episode. If you like what I do, because what I do is not very easy, make sure you guys pay me in a like, pay me in a comment, but give me some support by subscribing to the channel. Make this thing the biggest, make this channel bigger than the sun. I almost forgot my lines because Lil Wayne's dropping. Thank you for joining me. Also, I showed up on a podcast called The Hustle Report, where I sat down with some artists from Birmingham, Alabama, and I sat down with Hustle Porter, who is a really good friend and a podcaster, and we talked Drake, we talked Iceman, we talked who's the GOAT right now. Very intense conversation, very good conversation. If you want to see me with a panel, go and check them out, man, and let them know I sent you over there, all right? With all that being said, man, I love you. Take care of yourself. Peace out.
She is kind of fucking with my money, but I meant everything I said, and I say it again.